Ladies and gentlemen, your Florida Panthers are motherfucking world champs yet again. The Cats raised the Stanley Cup back-to-back seasons, and it is goosies on top of goosies. I'm not going to yell too much, all right? The house is sleeping. I've already woken up the neighborhood jumping into the pool. Back-to-back! Woo! Leroy! Cat fever! Woo! But I will toasty toast everybody tuning in on the channel. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great. And appreciate you stopping by. But we'll throw a little celebratory tequila shot here. Pew! That tastes like winning. It burns so good. Wow, dude. That was a party. What a performance by the Cats. Game 6, an absolute beatdown. Go out there and absolutely destroy the Edmonton Oilers 5-1. And Sam Reinhart with 4 goals. An absolutely incredible performance by Rhino today. And the Cats able to cruise their way to their second straight Stanley Cup. Just got done watching all the skating around. That celebration is so good. But this year, they go out and they get the Stanley Cup. Sam Bennett, he wins the Conn Smythe, deservedly so. I was asking today on the radio show, I said, is there any shot if Bob has a shutout, no points by Bennett or Marchand, that Bob could sneak his way in? I didn't even look what the voting was. I was too too locked in. But that actually almost ended up happening. The Cats had a shutout up until like 4 minutes left. They were up 5-0. And then there was like a 0-0 goal past Bob. He did not end up getting his shutout. Although the game was over. I mean, it was not a shutout technically, but he shut their asses down today. And I got to just say, he's my favorite Florida Panther. He is such an incredible human. He has a work ethic like nobody I've ever seen. And, when he's talking to Jackie Redmond there afterwards, and he's very spiritual in the moment, giving his praise, but then talks about his wife, his daughters, and then his other family in hockey, and just you could just see the grace that he holds it with. And this is just such a respectable man, and I'm happy for him. I've been so happy to see the journey that he's gone through, and seeing him get to now hoist the cup 2 years in a row. When coaches were talking bad on him, when people were talking down on his name, and now this guy, he's a certified legend. He's a certified legend. His jersey is going to go right in the rafters, right next to Roberto Luongo. Bobby Lou coming through again, by the way, banging the shit out of that drum and absolutely taking it home. Bobby Lou, you have earned yourself more pasta out of the Stanley Cup, my friend. Well done by you today. But I mean, Sergei was an absolute menace today. They couldn't get anything towards him. And there were a couple of weird scrambles there in the first period. But that second period, he truly broke them. 2-on-1s, just beautiful stops on Connor. He rattled Connor McDavid in this series. I mean, the Cats did such a good job. And I get it, dude. Connor McDavid's awesome. He's the greatest thing we've seen on skates. I get it. I get why everybody wants to see this guy get over the hump. I really have no hate in my heart for the guy. But Bob, man, Bob had this sick poke away where McDavid gets around Reinhart and just goes, and you're just like, geez, dude, Bob's coming out aggressive today. He really was. But just right off Jump Street, Rhino, getting the steal and score. Beautiful effort. And the Oilers they just yacked all over themselves today between Bouchard and Ekholm right off the bat. It was a penalty-free game today outside of a little 4-on-4 where they get a couple of shots. Bob stopped a Bouchard blast. And it just, the Oilers just couldn't break through. And I just thought Bobrovsky and Forsling and everybody on defense is doing a great job. Oh, man, I'm so happy for Nico Mikkola. Seth Jones getting his first run around with the cup. That was Goosey's galore, dude. When they go and they start giving, Barkey skates around. I believe the first person he gave it to was Nate Schmidt, who was tremendous. Huge moments in the playoffs. And that's the thing is, you could basically look at, pretty much everybody who got to skate around with that cup, outside of, maybe two guys. And you're like, oh, yeah, that guy had a moment. That guy had a moment. They really are just truly one of the most this team in particular, one of the most complete teams I have ever seen that I've rooted for. And Tkachuk said it, they're a dynasty. You go to 3 straight cups and you win 2 of them. I don't know what they need to make 4. And this is just so special to soak something like this in. And everybody was making the point afterwards that this one was harder. The thing that was crazy was Tkachuk telling TNT afterwards, and he's like, he was telling Panger, he was like, yeah, my tore my abductor off the bone, wanted to quit multiple times. One of the hardest years for me personally. And you could just tell there was something about this series that just brought out the best in Matthew Tkachuk, and it looked like his body was finally right. And it was so odd that usually everybody's wearing down, and it seemed very much like Tkachuk was just rounding into form in the right way. And he gets the beautiful setup by Eetu Luostarinen, the Finn twins, dude. Eetu and Mr. Los Olas himself, Anton Lundell, handsome. What can you say about those two? Just incredible. And then it looks like in the second period, it is, it was, very much, I would say, it was one of those where took the Cats probably about half the period to really get going. But there was a beautiful setup. Lundy almost had Lusty set up for a pretty goal right on Skinner. And then there was this, they're trying to rattle Bob. Corey Perry's chicken winging him. He's got a beautiful stop on Jeff Skinner. But then, Barkov takes this deflection off of Skinner, who just, stands up and lets the puck bounce off him and just, sets it up on a platter for Barkov, who shoots it and goes off Reinhardt's skate. And you just... Dude, you knew at that point as a Panthers fan, you're like, hey, they've let up some leads in this Stanley Cup. There is not a fucking chance that the Florida Panthers are giving up 3 goals in the next 20 minutes. And honestly, they snuffed the Oilers out. And the third period was uneventful. They pulled Skinner with 7 minutes left, and the Cats started peppering empty netters. It was an absolute onslaught. And one of those, I can't, it's fun. 2-1 Filthy was definitely squeaky cheeks last year. Game 7, they were saying this one was harder. I think in some personal battles and the mental fortitude and all of that, I understand it. I think they had to reach into their depth a little bit harder this year. Last year, going out 3-0, having to fight infamy, didn't really have, I think they just did a marvelous job on McDavid and Draisaitl. Early, they got their stuff going early in the series. And when there was that game 3 to just like you just saw the wheels fall off. And I know that they had the comeback in game 4, but, I really thought that the Panthers outplayed them. Bad collapse, get the tie, thought they outplayed them. They got a dumb win. And I really thought this should have been Cats in 5. I really do. I don't mean to disparage Edmonton. They obviously got some formidable guys on that team. Not a fan of Evander Kane with his theatrics during this series. Bouchard could do without seeing his whiny baby face. But from my standpoint, I really thought that this team, very good. I know everybody, it was a razor thin start to the series. Okay. But I really thought as the series went on, I think you go by like the lead differential, all that stuff. I thought it was pretty clear who the better team in this entire playoffs was. And quite frankly, I really think the only team that gave them a panic was Toronto. I thought Toronto was the best team that they played on this run. I really do. And this incredible journey that these guys put on, and the physicality they play with, but also just the connectiveness they play with. Like, we've talked about Marchand, what an incredible find he was, but just to fit with the Finn twins and Lusty and Lundy so well. The defense, with Meeksy and Seth Jones, 2 giants. Did you guys notice, like, during the celebration, how much Sergei Bobrovsky and Popeye Jones were BFF? It was so adorable. I was like, look at them. They're like hobnobbing the entire time. But Seth Jones, when he got to skate around with the Cup, he was one of the first timers. That was such a cool thing that the Cats did, dude. I mean, it really, really was. Just a perfect touch. Perfect touch for a team that nearly was perfect. I mean, really. Just not a team with a lot of weaknesses, not a lot of things you could really look upon on this team. Like, oh, well, I don't know. What don't they have? Chemistry, firepower, physicality. They're fun, friendship. It's just such a cool group. And Paul Maurice, dude, we're not worthy. Like, this man is such a mad genius. Now goes down as one of the all-time South Florida sports coaching greats. And as much as the Matthew Tkachuk trade and Bill Zito is a huge hand in it, and it is. I'm not dividing up the pie. I'm just saying I'm saying you guys take your slices. But Paul Maurice, just such a great temperament about him, an easiness, but knowing when to turn on to the mother effing stuff, the switching of lines. He always just knows to have the right touch, and just a delight to root for this squad, man. And as far as, like, what the future is going to hold for the likes of Marchand and Ekblad and Ben, I don't know. I mean, I would think that I think one of the things the Cats are going to have to go against, I don't want to talk about it too much because I think you should just live and enjoy this, but I think one of the things they're going to not only have to defend against is not only, how much those guys deserve their money, but how much people are going to try and break this shit up and get this team the hell away. But Brad Marchand, dude, from foe to friend, a Stanley Cup final for the ages, clutches all hell between the OTs against Toronto, between this Stanley Cup final, the OT winner, the big game in Game 5, highlight reels for life, the Dairy Queen, the shooting the rats. Very special for him, man. Very special to go 15 years between cups, and very cool moment for him. Truly, truly awesome. And it's just a really cool thing to see. And to see those guys skating around today, Barkov once again, that guy, everybody says it, is just the through line of the team, the way he carries himself, the way he gets everybody to just do things the right way is all his influence. And I think everybody's just got to realize this is such a special thing. Maybe they'll win 3 straight. Maybe they'll go to 4 straight. But if they don't, remember this. Remember these nights. It doesn't come easy. It doesn't come easy. You think yourself as a Sal Vlasov Dolphins 25 years without a playoff win. Canes, no significant winning in 25 years. The Marlins, no World Series in 22 years. The Heat, almost getting there, and some incredible runs, almost getting there, but still, haven't. Ask Eric Spoelstra how much he misses that taste and the way that he's asked when he's asked about winning and saying, I haven't done it in forever. It's a special thing. It's a special thing you should appreciate in the moment, and especially everything this franchise in particular has been through, and some of these guys who have the warts of, the guys like Ekblad and Barkey and Bob who were through not only hard times, but questions in their own right from the fans of like, are these guys cornerstones? Are they going to do anything? Are they going to be these, these guys who are going to be pieces of winning? And now they're all just, they're certified champions. They're certified legends. And it's absolute goosies galore, dude. Sam Reinhart, hey, how about just a couple of cup clinching goals back-to-back years, huh? That's how it's going to go for me. Really cool. What a night. Congratulations to the Cats. Everybody be safe tonight. That cup, it's about to head its way to Las Olas and Elbow Room, and then potentially to the Atlantic Ocean. Enjoy it, South Florida. Congratulations to the Cats. Much deserved. So entertaining. A team this area can be super proud of. And, man, it was a beautiful thing to watch. A beautiful, beautiful run by the dynastic Cats.